On a distant planet, the air was thick with tension as the human soldiers prepared for battle. Among them was Marcus, a tough soldier known for his bravery. He stood tall, his eyes scanning the horizon for any signs of the alien warriors. This planet was a dangerous place, filled with deadly creatures and harsh conditions, and the humans were determined to survive. As the sun dipped below the rocky hills, a sudden attack erupted. The alien warriors, fierce and skilled, charged at the humans with a battle cry that echoed through the valley. Marcus fought valiantly, dodging enemy strikes and using his training to protect his fellow soldiers. But in the chaos of battle, he was hit by a laser blast and fell to the ground, injured and vulnerable. The alien warriors seized their chance. They captured Marcus, dragging him away from the battlefield. The other humans tried to rescue him, but the aliens were too strong and too quick. As he was taken, Marcus remained calm, knowing he had to think strategically to survive. Inside the alien base, the warriors gathered around him, curious about this human who had fought so fiercely. Their leader, Zarkin, was intrigued but skeptical. Can this human heal? He wondered. Marcus lay on the cold floor, aware that his fate was uncertain. As the aliens watched him, a new kind of battle was about to begin, one that would test not just strength, but the very essence of what it meant to be human. In the heart of the alien base, Marcus lay on a metal table, still feeling the sting of his injuries. The room was dimly lit, and strange machines buzzed softly around him. He looked around, trying to assess his situation. Alien warriors with unusual features surrounded him, their skin shimmering in shades of green and blue. They had sharp claws and glowing eyes that reflected a mix of curiosity and caution. Their leader, Zarkin, stood out among them. Tall and imposing, Zarkin had a reputation for being a fierce warrior among his people. Can this human heal? Zarkin asked, his voice deep and echoing. He turned to his team, signaling them to observe carefully. The other aliens nodded. Their interest piqued. They had heard tales of humans, but had never seen one up close. Now, they were eager to learn about this mysterious creature from Earth. As Marcus regained consciousness, he felt their stares piercing into him. He understood their curiosity. He was a prisoner now, but he would not show fear. Instead, he focused on regaining his strength. While the aliens whispered among themselves, Marcus began to assess his injuries. He knew that he had to heal quickly if he wanted to escape and return to his team. Prepare the monitoring devices, Zarkin commanded. We need to study his healing process. Perhaps we can learn something useful. The aliens quickly got to work, setting up various machines that hummed and flickered with lights. They attached strange sensors to Marcus's body, measuring his vitals and scanning him. Marcus winced but didn't protest. He knew that showing weakness might only make things worse. As the aliens observed, they discussed their past encounters with humans. Some spoke of how they had fought humans in battles, while others recounted stories of humans' unexpected strength and resilience. Zarkin listened intently, his expression shifting from skepticism to intrigue. They say humans are weak, he said, but this one does not seem so. He fights hard, even when the odds are against him. The hours passed, and Marcus felt the warmth of energy returning to his body. He knew that humans had an incredible ability to heal, especially after facing danger. He recalled his training, where they had taught him to stay focused and use the resources around him to survive. As the aliens continued their studies, he mentally prepared himself for the moment he could escape. Suddenly, a younger alien named Kara, who had been observing quietly, stepped forward. Zarkin, I believe we are underestimating him. Look at how quickly he is recovering. It's unlike anything we have seen before. Zarkin frowned, his pride slightly wounded. We are warriors. We do not need to admire a human. But Kara persisted. What if this human is stronger than we think? What if he holds secrets that could help us? The other warriors nodded, feeling a shift in the atmosphere. They had always looked down upon humans, seeing them as mere pests. Now, the possibility that one could be a worthy opponent sparked a flicker of respect in their minds. Marcus, listening to their conversation, sensed a change. While they were curious, they were also becoming wary. He knew he had to use this to his advantage. As the aliens continued to monitor him, he began to plan his next move. If he could gain their respect, he might be able to turn this situation to his favor. The next day, Marcus felt strong enough to sit up. He was aware of the eyes watching him, filled with a mixture of wonder and doubt. Zarkin stepped closer, his expression serious. "Tell us, human, how do you heal so quickly? What is your secret?" Marcus knew this was his chance. If he could convince them that humans were not just weak beings, perhaps he could earn their respect. "Humans are survivors," Marcus replied, his voice steady. "We adapt to our environment and overcome challenges. It's in our nature to fight back, no matter how tough the situation is." Zarkin and Kara exchanged glances. "You think you are stronger than us?" Zarkin challenged, raising an eyebrow. "I don't think I'm stronger," Marcus said. "I know we are resilient. We fight for each other and use every bit of strength we have." Zarkin frowned, contemplating Marcus's words. The warriors were beginning to see the human not just as a prisoner, but as a potential ally. As the day went on, Marcus continued to engage with the aliens, sharing stories of human struggles and victories. He could feel their perception of him shifting from mere curiosity to a begrudging respect. Perhaps in this strange twist of fate, he could find a way to bridge the gap between their worlds. Little did they all know, the seeds of understanding were being planted. As Marcus healed, the aliens began to realize that they might have much to learn from this human. And the balance of power was about to shift in ways they never expected. As days turned into weeks, Marcus continued to heal and grow stronger under the watchful eyes of Zarkin and his warriors. The alien base became a place of surprising interaction. What began as an act of mere observation evolved into something deeper, a cautious exchange of ideas between humans and aliens. Zarkin had grown more intrigued by Marcus's resilience, and Kara often joined their conversations, eager to learn more about the human perspective. One day, Zarkin announced a challenge. "We will hold a contest," he declared, his voice booming through the chamber. "A test of strength and skill. You, human, will compete against my best warriors." The other aliens murmured in excitement. They'd wanted to see if this human could truly hold his own against their fiercest fighters. Marcus felt a mix of emotions. He was still a prisoner, yet this was an opportunity to prove himself. If he could demonstrate his strength, he might gain the respect of the aliens and perhaps even secure his freedom. "I accept your challenge," he replied, determination filling his voice. The arena was set up in a large open area of the base, surrounded by towering walls made of shimmering metal. Alien warriors gathered, their chatter filling the air with anticipation. Zarkin stood at the center, calling for silence. "Today we will witness the strength of a human against our finest warriors. Let the challenge begin." The first opponent was a massive alien named Grath, known for his brute strength. He charged at Marcus, his claws gleaming under the harsh lights. Marcus remembered his training and stayed focused. He dodged Grath's initial attack and countered with a swift kick, landing a blow to the alien's midsection. The crowd gasped in surprise. Grath stumbled back, but quickly regained his balance. He lunged again, this time aiming for Marcus's legs. Marcus sidestepped and swung his arm, hitting Grath's shoulder. The alien roared in frustration, and the two continued to exchange blows. Each strike made the spectators grow more anxious and curious. The contest continued, with Marcus using agility to outmaneuver Grath's brute strength. He relied on speed and strategy rather than raw power. With every move, he felt the respect of the crowd growing. Zarkin watched closely, his expression shifting from skepticism to admiration. The alien warriors had never seen a human fight like this before. After several intense minutes, Marcus finally found an opening. He executed a perfectly timed maneuver, sending Grath crashing to the ground. The arena erupted in cheers and roars. Marcus stood, panting but proud, as he realized he had won the first round. But the contest was not over yet. Zarkin raised his hand, signaling for another fighter to step forward. This time, it was Kara. "I will face you next," she said, her voice steady. The crowd fell silent, intrigued by this unusual twist. Kara had proven herself as a skilled warrior in her own right, and everyone wanted to see how she would fare against the human. Marcus felt a pang of hesitation. He didn't want to hurt Kara, who had been friendly and supportive during his time in the base. But he understood that this was about respect, not just for himself, but for humans as a whole. "Let's do this," he said, trying to mask his reluctance. The fight began, and Kara charged at him, her movements quick and precise. Marcus focused on defending himself, using agility to dodge her strikes. The two circled each other, each waiting for the perfect moment to attack. Kara's determination was evident as she pushed herself to showcase her skills. As they fought, Marcus noticed that Kara was not just a warrior. She was also an intelligent fighter. She adapted quickly, learning from his movements and trying to find openings. This made the battle more exciting and challenging. The spectators watched in awe, captivated by the dance of strength and strategy. Finally, after an intense exchange, Marcus found a way to gain the upper hand. He managed to deflect one of Kara's attacks and countered with a swift move that left her momentarily off balance. He could have finished the match but chose not to. Instead, he stepped back, giving her a chance to recover. Kara paused, looking at him with surprise. "You could have won," she said, breathless. "I didn't want to hurt you," Marcus replied, sincerity in his voice. "You've shown me kindness, and I respect you as a warrior." The crowd murmured, impressed by Marcus's choice. They had never witnessed such sportsmanship among fighters. Zarkin stepped forward, his voice booming with authority. "This is not just a contest of strength. It is also a test of honor and respect. Marcus, you have proven yourself as a warrior today, but you have also shown us the strength of your character." The crowd erupted into cheers, and Marcus felt a wave of relief wash over him. This was a turning point. He had not only defended himself, but had also earned the respect of the alien warriors. They began to see humans not as weak beings, but as formidable opponents and potential allies. As the contest concluded, Zarkin approached Marcus with a newfound respect. "You have much to teach us, human. Perhaps together we can learn more about each other." Marcus nodded, realizing that he had begun to forge an unexpected bond. The path ahead was uncertain, but one thing was clear. The encounter that had started with fear and misunderstanding was evolving into a partnership based on mutual respect. And this was just the beginning of a new journey, one that would change the fate of both humans and aliens forever. As the cheers of the alien warriors echoed through the arena, Marcus stood amidst the excitement, his heart racing. He had not only survived the challenge, but had also made a significant impact on the alien warriors. Zarkin stepped forward, a look of genuine admiration on his face. "Today, you have shown us more than just your strength. You have demonstrated the qualities of a true leader," he said. "I believe we can learn much from each other." Marcus felt a sense of pride swell within him. He had come to this alien base as a captive, but now he stood on the brink of something far greater, an alliance. "Thank you, Zarkin," he replied, sincerity in his voice. "I want to understand your culture and learn from you, just as you've learned from me." With the challenge behind them, the atmosphere in the base shifted. Alien warriors approached Marcus, eager to engage him in conversation. They shared stories of their battles and victories, and Marcus listened intently, fascinated by their perspectives. Each tale revealed the depth of their warrior culture and their values of honor and strength. Kara joined the group, her expression one of enthusiasm. "We should train together," she suggested. "You can teach us human tactics, and we can share our techniques with you. Imagine how powerful we could be as allies." Marcus smiled, recognizing the importance of this collaboration. "I'd love that," he agreed. We all have unique strengths. By working together, we can become even stronger. The idea of training alongside Kara and the alien warriors excited him. It would not only help him adapt to their ways, but also build trust between their two species. Days turned into weeks as the training sessions began. Marcus introduced the aliens to various human combat techniques, emphasizing agility, strategy, and teamwork. He taught them how to anticipate an opponent's moves and exploit their weaknesses. In return, the aliens showed Marcus their fighting styles, which were characterized by power and speed. Each session brought new challenges and opportunities for learning. During one training session, Zarkin approached Marcus. "I've noticed that you're growing stronger, but there's something else you should consider," he said. "Your human resilience is remarkable, but strength is not the only measure of a warrior." Marcus raised an eyebrow, curious about what Zarkin meant. "What do you mean?" "The heart of a warrior lies in their ability to inspire others and bring them together for a common cause," Zarkin explained. "You have the potential to unite us and lead a new path forward. Think about what that could mean for both our people." The weight of Zarkin's words settled heavily on Marcus. He had always seen himself as just a soldier, someone who followed orders. But now, he was beginning to understand that he could play a much larger role. "I'll do my best," Marcus promised, feeling a newfound sense of purpose. As the days passed, the bond between the humans and aliens deepened. They shared meals, celebrated victories, and learned about each other's customs. The aliens were fascinated by human stories of perseverance, bravery, and creativity. In return, Marcus was captivated by the rich history of Zarkin's people, filled with tales of honor and sacrifice. However, not everything was smooth sailing. There were still lingering doubts among some of the warriors about Marcus's abilities. "Can a human really stand with us against our enemies?" One of the older warriors questioned during a council meeting. "They are fragile creatures, and we have always fought alone." Zarkin raised his hand, commanding silence. "It is true that humans have their vulnerabilities, but they also possess unique strengths. We must not underestimate them." He turned to Marcus, who felt the weight of the room's eyes on him. "What do you say, human? Can you face the challenges ahead?" Marcus stood tall, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. "I know I'm not as strong as some of you, but I promise to give everything I have. Together, we can find a way to overcome any challenge," he declared, his voice steady. The council remained silent for a moment before murmurs of agreement spread through the room. Marcus could see that Zarkin's faith in him was beginning to influence others. This was the moment he had been waiting for, a chance to prove that he belonged. As the weeks turned into months, the alliance between humans and aliens grew stronger. They trained relentlessly, honing their skills and forging deeper connections. Marcus learned about the unique abilities of each warrior, understanding how their strengths complemented one another. This knowledge would prove invaluable in the battles that lay ahead. One day, while training, Kara approached Marcus with a serious expression. "There are rumors of an impending threat," she said quietly. "Other alien factions are not happy about our alliance. They see it as a weakness, and they may come for us." Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. The idea of facing another battle weighed heavily on him. "We need to be ready," he replied, determination in his voice. "If they underestimate us, they will make a grave mistake." Zarkin joined them, overhearing the conversation. "It is time to prepare for the worst," he stated firmly. "We will strengthen our defenses and strategize. We are no longer just a collection of warriors. We are allies, and together we will show our enemies the true power of our alliance." With a shared sense of purpose, Marcus, Zarkin, and Kara began planning their defense. They would not only protect themselves, but also stand united against any threats that sought to break their newfound bond. As the sun set on the alien base, a sense of hope filled the air. Together, they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, and Marcus felt that he was finally where he belonged. The atmosphere in the alien base was tense as rumors of impending danger spread among the warriors. Marcus had spent months training and building relationships with the aliens, and now the prospect of facing a threat loomed over them like a dark cloud. The once harmonious environment transformed into a hub of urgent discussions and preparations. Every warrior knew they had to be ready for the coming storm. As the days passed, Marcus, Zarkan, and Kara met regularly to strategize. They would gather in a large chamber filled with holographic maps and training equipment. Marcus used his human perspective to analyze their current position, emphasizing the importance of using their unique skills to create a strong defense. He suggested they utilize the terrain around the base to their advantage, turning their home into a fortress. "We can set up ambush points and traps," Marcus proposed, pointing at the map. "The element of surprise will be our best weapon. If we can catch them off guard, we can level the playing field." Kara nodded, her eyes shining with determination. "I like that idea. Our warriors can use their speed to move quickly between positions. If we split into smaller teams, we can confuse the enemy and strike when they least expect it." Zarkan smiled, impressed with their plan. "You both think like true warriors. This alliance will only grow stronger with your leadership." His words boosted Marcus's confidence, reminding him that they were all in this together. Meanwhile, rumors of the threat grew more ominous. Reports indicated that several alien factions, displeased with the alliance between humans and Zarkan's warriors, were planning an attack. They believed that by taking down this unusual coalition, they could restore the traditional order of power in the galaxy. Tensions escalated, and soon, their enemies began to gather forces, preparing for a confrontation. One afternoon, while training, Marcus overheard a conversation among some of the alien warriors. "We cannot trust the humans," one of them grumbled. "They are fragile, and their kind is not made for war." Hurt, Marcus felt the sting of their words, but he knew he had to prove himself. "They will see that we are more than just humans," he muttered to Kara, who stood beside him. "We will show them our strength." That evening, Zarkan called an emergency meeting. The atmosphere was heavy with unease as the warriors gathered. Marcus could sense their apprehension. The threat was real, and they needed to unite more than ever. "Brothers and sisters," Zarkan began, his voice strong and commanding. "We face a challenge unlike any we have encountered before. Some believe our alliance is a weakness, but we will show them that it is our greatest strength. The humans and my people will fight together, and together we will prevail." Cheers erupted from the crowd, filling Marcus with hope. They were ready to stand together, but doubt lingered in the hearts of a few. Zarkan noticed and continued, "It is not enough to simply fight. We must believe in one another. Trust is the foundation of our strength." The warriors nodded, realizing that their unity would be key to their survival. They began to share stories of bravery and resilience, reminding each other of the bonds they had forged over the past months. Marcus felt a sense of camaraderie growing, and for the first time, he believed they could face whatever came their way. As the sun set behind the distant mountains, the warriors prepared for their final training sessions before the battle. They pushed their limits, honing their skills and building their strategies. Marcus felt the adrenaline coursing through his veins as he led them, guiding both human and alien fighters in a dance of tactics and movements. However, even with all their preparation, a nagging feeling tugged at Marcus's gut. What if their enemies were smarter than they anticipated? What if the battle was lost before it began? He pushed those thoughts aside, focusing on the tasks at hand. They had to believe in each other, or they would have no chance. On the eve of the battle, Marcus stood outside the base, gazing at the stars. He remembered his life on Earth, his family, friends, and the challenges he faced before arriving in this alien world. Now he was part of something much bigger. He was fighting for an alliance, for the friendships he had formed, and for the chance to prove humanity's worth. Kara approached him quietly. "You're deep in thought," she observed, joining him. "What's on your mind?" "I just can't shake the feeling that we need to be ready for anything," Marcus admitted. "I want to protect everyone here. I don't want to let anyone down." Kara placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. You've done more than you know. You've united us, and we believe in you. Remember, we're all in this together. If we fight as one, we will prevail. Her words resonated deeply within him, strengthening his resolve. He realized that he wasn't just fighting for himself. He was fighting for a future where humans and aliens could stand side by side. The night was long, filled with anticipation and uncertainty. The warriors gathered their weapons, checked their armor, and prepared mentally for the battle ahead. Marcus joined them, feeling the unity among them. They were ready, not just as individuals, but as a force determined to defend their newfound alliance. As dawn broke, casting a warm glow over the alien base, Marcus gathered the warriors for one last meeting. Today, we stand together, he declared, looking into the eyes of each warrior. We may come from different worlds, but we fight for the same purpose. We will show our enemies the true strength of our alliance. With a united roar, the warriors raised their weapons high, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them. Together, they would forge a new legacy, one that would echo throughout the galaxy. As they prepared to march into battle, Marcus felt a surge of hope. Hope for victory, hope for peace, and hope for a future where humans and aliens would thrive as allies. As the sun rose, casting its dim light across the alien landscape, the atmosphere grew thick with anticipation. The warriors, both human and alien, stood side by side, prepared for battle. Their once peaceful camp was now a fortress, reinforced with every defensive measure Marcus and the others had planned. The upcoming battle felt inevitable, like the calm before a storm. Each warrior, gripping their weapons tightly, exchanged determined glances, knowing what was at stake. Marcus scanned the horizon, his mind sharp and focused. His training on Earth and the months spent learning from Zarkin's people had prepared him for this moment. Yet despite all the preparation, there was a tension in the air that was impossible to shake. His thoughts raced. Would the defenses hold? Could their tactics stand up to the alien invaders coming their way? We have to be ready for anything, Marcus muttered under his breath as he paced around the camp. Kara approached him, her face serious but calm. We are as ready as we can be, she said, her voice steady. The plan is solid. Now we just need to trust in it. Marcus nodded, but the weight of responsibility still pressed on him. He glanced at the warriors around him, some preparing their weapons, others adjusting their armor. Zarkin stood at the front, giving commands and ensuring everyone was in position. He was a natural leader, his presence reassuring the troops. Suddenly, a distant rumble echoed through the valley. The ground beneath them trembled slightly, signaling the approach of the enemy forces. Marcus felt his pulse quicken, his adrenaline kicking in. This was it. The battle was about to begin. Positions. Zarkin's voice boomed across the camp. Warriors scrambled into their assigned spots, readying their weapons and preparing for the fight. Marcus hurried to his own position at the front lines, where he could keep an eye on the battlefield and give orders as needed. Through the haze of the early morning, the first shapes appeared on the horizon. Dark, massive figures marching toward them. The enemy forces were larger than expected, their numbers stretching farther than Marcus had anticipated. He took a deep breath, trying to steady himself. This was no time for doubt. The enemy moved with a cold, calculated precision. They were well-trained and organized, their ranks moving in perfect sync. But Marcus knew that their alliance had the advantage of speed, adaptability, and the element of surprise. The first strike came quickly. The enemy fired massive energy blasts toward the camp, lighting up the sky with flashes of red and orange. Explosions rocked the ground as the blasts hit the defensive barriers, shaking the camp. Warriors ducked behind cover, bracing for impact. Marcus shouted, "Hold the line. Don't let them break through." Kara and the other warriors fired back, unleashing a torrent of energy bolts from their advanced weapons. Their shots were precise, cutting through the advancing enemy ranks. But despite the damage, the enemy forces continued to march forward, relentless in their assault. Zarkin, leading the charge from his position, fought with the strength of 100 warriors. His massive figure moved swiftly, his blade cutting through enemy soldiers with brutal efficiency. Every swing of his weapon sent shockwaves through the battlefield, knocking enemies off their feet. It was a display of power that left even the human warriors in awe. But the battle was far from over. As more enemy forces poured in, Marcus realized that they were being outnumbered. Despite their strategic advantage, the sheer size of the opposing army was overwhelming. "We need to fall back," Marcus shouted over the chaos. "Regroup and lure them into the traps." Kara relayed the order, and the warriors began to retreat strategically, drawing the enemy deeper into the camp. As the invaders advanced, they triggered hidden traps, explosive mines, energy nets, and ambushes that thinned their ranks. The enemy was being funneled into a narrow passageway, just as Marcus had planned. But even with the traps working in their favor, the enemy showed no signs of stopping. More and more soldiers flooded into the battlefield, their relentless advance testing the limits of Marcus's carefully laid plans. E2. In the midst of the chaos, Marcus found himself face to face with an enemy commander. The alien, towering over him, growled menacingly as it swung its massive weapon toward him. Marcus barely dodged the blow, rolling to the side and coming up with his own weapon ready. The alien commander snarled, clearly not expecting much from the human in front of him. But Marcus had spent too long preparing for this moment. With a swift and precise movement, he struck back, landing a hit on the alien's side, causing it to stumble. Seizing the opportunity, Marcus followed up with a series of quick strikes, finally bringing the massive alien down. As he stood over the fallen commander, breathing heavily, Marcus realized something. This was only the beginning. The battle was far from over, and the enemy would continue to come at them with everything they had. But for now, they had the advantage. They had held the line. Looking back at his allies, Marcus saw Kara fighting fiercely, Zarkan still leading the charge, and the warriors giving everything they had. They were stronger together than they had ever been apart. As the dust settled for a moment, Marcus took a deep breath. They had won this round, but the war was still raging. The real challenge was yet to come, and they would need every bit of strength, strategy, and unity to face what lay ahead. "We can do this," Marcus whispered to himself, determination filling his chest. Battle raged on, a storm of chaos and courage enveloping the battlefield. Marcus felt the adrenaline coursing through him as he fought alongside Zarkan and Kara. Every clash of weapons and every shout from his fellow warriors spurred him forward. They were more than just an alliance now. They were a force to be reckoned with. As the fighting continued, Marcus noticed the enemy faltering. Their formation began to break as his side executed their strategies flawlessly. With each successful maneuver, confidence surged through the ranks of Zarkan's warriors and the humans. The tide was turning. "Now, flank them," Zarkan commanded, leading the charge. The warriors split into two groups, surrounding the enemy forces. Marcus joined Kara and a few others, rushing towards an enemy stronghold. The sight of their opponents becoming disorganized filled him with hope. But even in the heat of victory, Marcus remembered the importance of strategy. He gestured to Kara and the others, signaling them to take positions behind the rocks that lined the battlefield. They hid, waiting for the right moment to spring their trap. As the enemy warriors marched past their hiding spot, Marcus felt his heart race. "Now," he shouted, and they leaped into action. The surprise attack sent shockwaves through the enemy ranks, who were not prepared for such a coordinated strike. The battle intensified, and the sound of blasters and explosions filled the air. Marcus felt the heat of the fight, the sheer thrill of working together with his allies. They fought fiercely, each warrior driven by a shared purpose. During the chaos, Marcus spotted one of the enemy leaders, a towering figure with a dark helmet, calling for reinforcements. Knowing they could not allow that to happen, he sprinted toward him, dodging blaster fire. Zarkan and Kara followed closely, their determination matching his own. As they closed the distance, Marcus shouted, "We can't let him escape." They pushed forward, outmaneuvering the enemy's defenses. In a quick moment, Marcus lunged forward, tackling the enemy leader to the ground. The two struggled for control, but Marcus's determination was stronger. He pinned the alien down, feeling the surge of victory as Zarkin and Kara reached him. Together, they restrained the leader, preventing him from calling for help. "Finish this," Zarkin shouted, holding the leader's arms down. "We can't let them regroup." With one swift motion, Marcus drew his weapon and aimed it at the enemy leader. "This is for our alliance," he declared, and with that, he pushed the trigger. The leader fell silent, and a wave of relief washed over Marcus. As the battle continued to unfold, they began to notice a shift in the enemy's morale. With their leader defeated and their forces dwindling, the remaining warriors began to retreat. The cries of victory rang out among Marcus's allies as they pressed their advantage. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the enemy turned and fled. The battlefield fell silent, save for the cheers of the victorious warriors. Exhausted but elated, Marcus dropped to his knees, letting out a breath he didn't realize he was holding. Around him, the warriors celebrated their hard-earned victory. Zarkin lifted his weapon high, shouting, "We have shown them the strength of our alliance. Today we fought not just for ourselves, but for a future together." The cheers grew louder, filling the air with joy and relief. As Marcus rose to his feet, he felt a sense of belonging. This was no longer just a battle for survival. It was a testament to their unity. Kara approached, her face flushed with excitement. "We did it. We really did it." She hugged Marcus tightly, and he felt the warmth of their shared victory. But even in their triumph, Marcus knew the battle was just the beginning. They had proven their strength today, but the galaxy was vast, and many challenges lay ahead. He looked at Zarkin, who was rallying the troops for the next steps. "We must rebuild," Zarkin said, his voice steady, "but we will do it together. This alliance is our strength, and together we will face whatever comes next." The warriors nodded in agreement, and Marcus felt a sense of pride swelling within him. They had become a family, united by their struggles and their triumphs. They had faced adversity and emerged stronger, not just as individuals, but as a united force. As they prepared to return to their base, Marcus knew that this was only the beginning. They would continue to learn from each other, grow together, and face whatever threats awaited them in the galaxy. The bond forged in the fires of battle would only strengthen in the days to come. With hope and determination, the warriors marched forward, ready to build a brighter future together. The galaxy was vast and filled with challenges, but now they faced it as one, a true alliance of humans and aliens ready to take on the universe.